Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And we're going to do a series of reviews on the CCrane Skywave radio. And we're going to do the reviews starting with this radio a little different to see if I can improve my reviews. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off using my report card system and do an introduction to the radio, its features, and all that stuff. Then I will, and not necessarily in this order, I will do the reception testing, where I actually try to tune in some stations and stuff like that. But something I'm going to do differently, starting with this radio, is I'm going to go into some of the unique features of this radio, or any radio that I'm testing, that's unique to that radio. And you will see what I'm talking about for this radio. So hopefully this will provide more information. And like I say, I will break it up into several videos so the videos don't get too long. And we'll see how it goes. And please give me your comments. What do you think of this new idea? So here we go. So anyway, this is the CCrane no, I always mix this up. It's a CCrane radio. It's not the CCrane radio. And this is the CC Skywave radio from CCrane. Now we got that out of the way. Okay, what it comes with the radio. It comes with this pouch here to protect the radio, and basically that's what it's for, is for protecting radio. You cannot use the radio easily, like if you want to change things while it's in the pouch. The other thing it comes with is a set of earbuds, and I'm told from other reviews that these are pretty good earbuds. They're not your dollar store earbuds. I do not want to use them because this radio is going to be given away, so I want to keep these fresh. So I'm leaving those in the package. So that's all it comes with. It does not come with an AC adapter or a little antenna on a reel. This is it. This is what you get. Now, getting back to the report card, and I have to look over my shoulder at my laptop to see if I've got what I want to show you in the picture. So the first thing we're going to look at is the look and feel of the radio. And the first thing that caught my eye about this radio when I took it out of the package is the dull finish on the case. I first thought that this was going to be one of those rubberized finishes that some of the radios utilize, that unfortunately over time it gets a little tacky, so I don't like those. I also don't like the glossy radios that show fingerprints. So this does have the good, I call plastic finish, dull plastic finish that I like on radios. So that's good. The buttons are very responsive. You got a tactile feel to them, so that's good. And it does come with a kickstand, so if I can get it over without hitting the antenna. So here's the little kickstand on the back. It does come with a carrying strap that the only way you can get this off is either take the radio off apart or cut it off. And what else? Oh, the antenna is situated such that when you extend it and you're using the kickstand, you can fold it forward and it's totally vertical. That's what I like. I don't like these radios that have the kickstand but the antenna is not situated so that you can bring it fully vertical when it's sitting on this angle. So that's look and feel, that's good. So I'm going to give it an A on look and feel. So I'm going to put that on the scorecard. There is your A. Now the next item on the scorecard is readability, and that involves two things. That's the readability of the display and the readability of the writing on the case and the numbers or buttons on the buttons. Well, the display is small. Now, keeping in mind something I didn't mention, whoops, volume down. Something I didn't mention is this is a very small radio, which you can see by my hands.
75 on heading 0103 Lima Papa.
It will. Thank you very much. Let me turn the volume down here. It will fit in the palm of your hand, so it's very small. But it does have, for its size, a pretty good size display, and the frequency numbers are very large. And then it has a lot of small writing, which if you're holding this in your hand, in your lap, whatever, or on your desk and you're close to it like I am right now, everything, even though it's some of it pretty small print, is readable. The writing is either white on black or kind of an orange on black, both of which are very easy to read. There's none of this gray on black, which some radios have, and it's just hard for me to read. So the readability is very good. It does have a pretty good light switch, which comes on when you first turn the radio on. Turn it on now. There we go. It appears it's only lit from this one side, so this side over here is a little darker, but it's still, that lighting is still strong enough that it works quite well. It's just not uniform. And it is amber. I like the amber backlighting or side lighting in this case, so that works pretty good. I did not find in the documentation or anywhere else any way of keeping the light on. It's activated anytime you tune or push a button. It's activated, but it will not stay on forever. So if you're in a scanning mode, once it's been in that scanning mode for 3 or 4 seconds, the backlight is going to go off, or the side light. It's going to go off. So you won't be, if you're in the dark or something, or near dark, you're not going to have the backlight illuminated. Now it does have a very contrasty LCD display, so it's pretty easy to read as long as you have some light. Okay, so readability, the only drawback I've noticed is the fact that I can't control the light. For me, I like to be able to have the option that I can keep the light on, even though I know it's draining the batteries. So, for instance, like I said before, if I'm scanning, I want the light to stay on. So I'm going to knock it down because I can't control the light. At least I have not found any way to do that. So I'm going to give it a B. So there we have those two, A and a B. Power options is the next one. And it does not come with an AC adapter. It does have a mini USB connector, 5-volt in to power the radio, or if you have rechargeable batteries, there is a function key that you can hit to put it in charging mode. So it does charge batteries if you so choose. You have to be careful though. You don't want to have that on when you have alkaline batteries, non-rechargeable batteries in it. So you don't want to do that. So, like I say, unfortunately it does not come with an AC adapter. I would have, or even a cable. I would have thought they would have included at least a USB cable so that if you have an adapter for something else, you could use it on this radio with that cable. Now you could use a cable that you already have, but anyway. So I'm kind of disappointed with that. So I'm going to knock it down It does have the recharging capability, but it doesn't come with a cable or adapter. I'm going to knock it down a grade for that. So that's a B. Now, next thing is tuning options. Oh, by the way, as far as power, it uses 2 AA batteries to power it. Okay. Tuning. Now, it has a lot of tuning features, and I'll try to capture all those in this video. If I leave some out when I'm doing reception testing, I hope to highlight some of those. So it does have a manual tuning. You're using this tuning knob, which is pretty small, but it's digital tuning so that you don't skip over a frequency. On the contrary, and something that you probably know, it drives me nuts, it mutes when it tunes. That to me is, I personally don't like that. And it's just, you know, if you're using this radio and you're trying to find things, you have to tune it and wait a half a second for the muting to shut off so that you can hear the station, tune it some more. So you can't fast tune it like you can an analog type tuner. So that's a drawback. It also has these up and down arrows for tuning. So you just push the button and it increments. And the increment is determined by what band you're in. Also on the manual tuning, and let's go to shortwave. That's weather. There's shortwave. It has 2 tuning increments, and right now it's in, and it shows you right here, probably can't see it, it's in fast tune, which means it increments by 5 kilohertz. You can push this button, this tuning button in, and it will change it to slow, and now it's only incrementing by 1. Don't know if you could see that. Let me look over my shoulder. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, adjusted as much as I could with the camera controls. I'll move it myself manually. Okay, there we go. I can even go in one more. And maybe 2. There you go. Now you can see the display much better. And if I tune it, the backlight comes on. Okay, there we go. What was I saying? Okay, so you have 2 tuning increments, and you control that by pushing the button on the side, the tuning button. Okay, that takes care of this. Bandwidth, you have 5, bandwidth filters, and that's this button right here, bandwidth. And so you push that button, and then you use the tuning knob. Whoops, didn't do it fast enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Correction. You just keep hitting the button repeatedly, and you start off at 6 kilohertz, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's got, you know, a large number of bandwidth filters, which really comes in handy. When your temperature station is telling you the temperature. Oh, it always happens when I'm doing a video. It happens to be at the time that my temperature station wants to tell me what time it is. Okay, moving right on. Okay, so what was I saying again? I lost my train of thought again. So easy for me. Oh yeah, so you have 5 bandwidths that you can select. That's a very good feature. Like I say, there is a lot of tuning features in this radio. Now normally it defaults to 3 kilohertz. That's what's the normal bandwidth, and you can actually change the default so that when you switch between bands, that will be the default for that particular band. And I won't go into how to do that. That's one of those things I'll do in another video, is show you how to change the default bandwidth, meaning when you turn the radio on, that's the bandwidth it's going to use. Because when you manually change the bandwidth while you're listening, my understanding is when you turn the radio off, and we can just demonstrate that real quick. Okay, I'm going to set it to 1. So it's set to 1 now. There it goes. Now I'm going to turn the radio off. Now I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to change the bandwidth, and it saved it. Okay, now that's not what the instruction manual said, or that's not what I interpreted, that it would save that bandwidth that you've selected. So, okay, we learned something. You can also direct tune using this keypad here. Something that's quite unusual on a radio this small is to have that direct tuning keypad. So that's a nice feature. You can scan through the bands by pressing and holding this up and down arrow. So we're at 17.496 right now, so I can press and hold, and it's scanning. Now, this is, using it this way, it's looking for a strong signal. And once it finds a strong signal, it will stop the scanning. And you can either manually tune it, or you can hit and hold the button again, and it will scan. And as you probably saw, hopefully if I've got the camera set up right, is that it's scanning all of the international broadcast bands. Not all of the shortwave band in its entirety, just the international broadcast bands. So it's looking for something to receive.
There is a message for you.
Now, if I can find a... Let me just stop that. Okay. Another method of tuning is it does have the ATS function, the automatic tuning storage function, where it starts searching for stations. When it finds one, or it finds a strong signal, could be noise, it stores it in memory, and you can go back and review those memory locations to see what it found. Now, the manual, and I've got a question in to CCrane about this. The manual says that this will work, the ATS function will work in all modes: AM, FM, weather, air, and shortwave. And I was excited about that, and that's what I say. That's what. Let me see if I can find that in the manual real quick. If I can't, I'll just. It's not a big deal. Yeah, here it is. It says ATS, the automatic tuning system, they call it. To use ATS, select your desired band: AM, FM, shortwave, or air. I'm sorry, it doesn't say it works in the weather band, but it does say it works in air. Well, I saw that and I immediately said, great, let me try that in the air band. I could not get it to work. I pushed and held down the ATS button. It blinked for a second. The frequency it did not scan. So it appears it doesn't work. And I didn't think they would have that function because no other radio does, but that would have been nice if they did. Now, in the air band, you can use these arrow buttons and push and hold, and it will scan the air band, and when it finds a station, it will stop. So it does have that feature. So it does have scanning capability in the air band. Okay, I digress. Well, got a long discussion on tuning, and I can see it's got a lot of features, and I'll probably miss some of them. It does, and let me go to FM. Now, I don't know if it's going to show up. Let me look back at my camera. I think it does. It has an bar graph for the S meter indicator. And it's pretty good bar graph for the S meter. But I noticed that when I was scanning, he was either using this scanning feature or the ATS. While I was scanning, every once in a while, and even manually tuning, the S meter would go full scale, and if I stopped, there was nothing there. So that was a little bit misleading. The radio does not have single sideband capability. So if you're interested in single sideband, this radio does not do that. And I mentioned how you can change the tuning speed using the tuning button by pressing in. Let's go back to shortwave. The airband, okay, the airband does have a squelch, and I've used it. Let me see if I can go to the airband here. Here's the airband. You push and hold the tuning button again, and it says the word squelch, and then you have to do it quickly, and then let me do it again. Hope this is showing up. And then you use the tuning knob to set the squelch either 1 to 9 or off. So I found that 1 was more than adequate. So it does have a squelch, and it does seem to work pretty good in the airband, only the airband. Okay, so I think I covered everything about tuning. Probably missed something, but with all those tuning features, and even some of them, well, the one thing that I mentioned that for me is a problem is the muting while tuning. So that knocks it down a letter for me. So given all the tuning options it has, and the fact that it does have that muting situation when tuning, I'm going to knock it down to a B. Otherwise it would have been an A. Now the next one on the scorecard report card is the audio quality. I found the audio quality to be nice, about fair. It's not ideal, and you got this tiny little speaker, so I didn't really expect too much. I did read in another review with the earbuds, these particular earbuds that come with it, the audio quality is excellent. So I did not have any problem with the audio quality for the airband, which is just voice, people talking. There's no high fidelity. It worked fine, no problem. And I didn't have any problem with the audio for shortwave. Again, usually just listening to voice, not music. But in the in AM FM mode, it was very good using the earbuds. Okay, using the internal speaker. Had plenty of volume there, so it wasn't starved for volume, and it didn't distort. So that's the audio. I'm going to give it, keeping in mind that it's a small radio, I'm going to give it a B. I might have given it an A, but I'm going to give it a B. Okay. Next thing is special features. Special features. Oh, the other thing is, going back to audio, is that it does have a switch so you can switch between two audio filters, one being voice and one being music. That helps a little bit, but it wasn't significantly a change. So it does have that feature, so you can choose those two audio filters. Almost forgot about that. Also the volume control, which is on the side, is analog, so it's not digital, so which I prefer analog. So that's cool. So while I'm at it, I'll point out the couple of things that there are on the sides. This is a headphone jack. This is your USB charger input. This side is the tuning knob and the volume knob, and that's it. That's it. Not a lot of. So there's no external antenna jack, and now we're getting into special features. What else? There's no line in or line out. Again, this is a small radio. I wouldn't expect that. I would have hoped for a antenna jack, but again, it's a pocket radio, so not surprising. One of the what I would consider a special feature is in the air band. It does have that squelch control. The HF frequency band is 2.3 megahertz to 26.1, so a little beyond some of the small radios like this that only go to 21 megahertz or 23 megahertz. This one goes to 26.1. And like I said, on the negative side of the special features, it did not come with a charging cable or an AC adapter. I consider that a negative. So special features, I'm going to give it a C. And mainly because I'm not including under that category all those tuning features. They're under the tuning feature category. So let's see what we got. And the next thing I'll do is I'll do another video on reception. But we got an A, take the A and the C, they make a B, and then we got all B's. So it's got a strong B right now. So it's looking pretty good. I think I've covered everything I'm going to cover under the introduction. There's a lot of other details that I'm going to go over in subsequent videos. So if you have any questions, please send me a question. Either leave it as a comment or send it directly to me at TRRS73@gmail.com, and I'll try to include the answers to those questions in subsequent videos. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and better yet, share it with other people so they can find out about my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.